Yo people, welcome back to another video. This time I want to talk about Seth Rollins' cash-in and how I think it would have gone down at SummerSlam. I do think this theory can still work for Survivor Series or before that, but Seth Rollins is the main key to kickstart all these events, and SummerSlam would have been perfect. Now, there's still a small chance that it can happen depending on the injury. Some people are saying they're overselling the injury, some people think he's actually out, so we'll have to wait and see. But if we could see it at SummerSlam, that would be the perfect scenario for this theory. I know there's a lot of people that are still not convinced by Seth Rollins' faction. They don't like it, or they say that Paul Heyman's turn to Seth Rollins at WrestleMania 41 doesn't make sense, it's not believable. But in this video, I'll explain how everything has been long-term storytelling and how it all makes sense throughout all the main event characters. Now, let me know down below in the comments what you think will happen in John Cena versus Cody Rhodes at SummerSlam. Let me know what content you want to see me make as well, and I'd appreciate if you could leave a like on the video and sub to the channel. So the way all of this is going to connect, all the people on the thumbnail and everything, I think a lot of people are expecting Cody Rhodes to turn heel and Cena to turn face, but I wouldn't turn Cody Rhodes heel yet. As much as I'd like to see it, I'd hold off on that. So because the match is a street fight, we know there's going to be interferences, and what I would do is have Cody go for the pin on John Cena, and then The Rock's music hits. He attacks Cody, Cena picks up the win, they both continue to attack Cody Rhodes non-stop, and then when Cena and The Rock are standing tall, The Rock does the rock bottom to John Cena. Then he picks him up, he does it again, and that's when we hear Seth Rollins' music. He's coming down to the ring. He might be on a crutch or something, I don't know. He's going to have Bron Breakker and Bronson Reed with him alongside Paul Heyman. They'll all go down to the ring. Long story short, Seth Rollins cashes in and he becomes the new WWE champion. He shakes hands with The Rock, and Paul Heyman pulls out the Ula Fala from his pocket and he hands it to The Rock, who puts it over himself. Now, Paul Heyman in this scenario would have stolen the Ula Fala from Roman Reigns earlier on from their tag team match that they have, the one between Jey Uso and Roman Reigns versus Bron Breakker and Bronson Reed. I've said this since weeks before WrestleMania 41 that Paul Heyman will join Seth Rollins. You can go and find the videos, they're all on the channel, but I predicted it way before. This has always made sense in my opinion, because Paul Heyman, when he was working for the Bloodline, he serves the highest ranking member of the Bloodline, which at the time, whenever we'd see in ring, it's always Roman Reigns, the tribal chief. But if we're talking the actual bigger picture, the highest ranking member is actually the High Chief, and that would be the final boss, The Rock. I said it back then and I'll say it again. The Rock told Paul Heyman to betray Roman Reigns and chose to make Seth Rollins his new guy because he is Roman Reigns' kryptonite. This is all a move from The Rock that was executed to get back at Roman Reigns for losing at WrestleMania 40, and The Rock makes him lose the last thing which he had, which was the Wise Man. He wants to destroy Roman Reigns' version of the Bloodline. As for John Cena's character, because he's been betrayed now, he becomes a face instantly, and The Rock can still say that he used John Cena this whole time as a decoy and just to make John Cena feel like his heel run wasn't worth it and all of that stuff. All of that storytelling elements, you can play with a lot of that stuff. We can even say that The Rock made Cena turn heel to make him feel miserable, to ruin his last year in WWE, and all of that stuff was part of The Rock's plan all along, just to get back at John Cena for interfering in the main event of WrestleMania 40. With Seth as champion and so connected to The Rock and Paul Heyman, this automatically elevates Bron Breakker and Bronson Reed because they're just by association in the main event with the top people, so they get clout from it. It all connects. But it adds even more tension between Cody Rhodes and Seth Rollins, because obviously Seth Rollins is betraying Cody in the process. He went from teaming up with Cody Rhodes at WrestleMania 40 to selling out to the same evil that they tried to get rid of. As for Roman Reigns, this builds up his story against Seth Rollins and against The Rock, so you could even do a thing where for WrestleMania 42, Roman can face either Seth Rollins or The Rock, and that way, if The Rock's schedule is busy again, then it's easy to pivot and you can do Roman Reigns versus Seth Rollins, and if The Rock is actually available, then you go for the dream match and we can finally see The Rock versus Roman Reigns. Again, for Cody, I still think he should be a face. If he sees Seth Rollins turn heel, well, Seth's already a heel, but it doesn't affect him directly, but this move would affect him directly. And basically, seeing someone else go from face to heel, aligning with The Rock, it will actually build up for whenever Cody Rhodes turns heel, because he's seeing all these people, they're doing the face thing, it's not working, then they turn heel, guaranteed success. So for him, if we extend the time period that he goes without the belt, it will actually add to his heel turn, because he'll be like, okay, this is enough, I'm not doing anything, I'm being the face, I'm being the good guy, it's not leading to anything, so cool, I want to turn heel, I want to win stuff and I don't care about the fans. As for John Cena, like I mentioned, since he's now turned face in the process, this allows him to end on a high and end as a face, as everyone wants to see him retire as the good guy. As for this new overall plot, you can have some great matches like at War Games. You could have Team Final Boss or Team Seth Rollins, whichever it ends up being, versus Team Roman Reigns. And we could see Seth Rollins, Bronson Reed, Braun Breaker, maybe The Rock handpick some people like Solo Sikoa, and someone else, for example, just to have 5 people going up against Team Roman, which could be Roman Reigns, the Usos, Jacob Fatu, and Cody Rhodes, for example. Who knows? But this is the direction that they need to start building towards heading into next WrestleMania. And just with this build alone, there's so many different interesting stories that they can tell with all the main event characters that they need. So we shouldn't be struggling to actually get creative stuff and things that are actually interesting. With this whole move alone, you instantly take all the doubt that people had with this whole Seth Rollins group, because we now know why Paul Heyman did what he did, how Seth Rollins is connected, and why Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker are seen as the new guys. These all are part of The Rock's plan, so it all makes sense now. And I'm sorry to tell you, Cody Rhodes fans and fanboys, all that stuff, as much as the propaganda will want you to believe Cody is still that guy, he's not been that guy. He never has, not as long as Roman Reigns is still here. It's still his story. This is all his story. They've tried to decline him recently, doing stupid, irrelevant matches like what we're going to see at SummerSlam, but this is still his story. Until he doesn't face The Rock, this whole thing still revolves around him. And like I said, the main event next year of WrestleMania 42 should be Roman Reigns versus Seth Rollins for the championship. And if they can't do that, or if The Rock is actually available, then you do the final boss versus Roman Reigns, head of the table, tribal combat, all that stuff that they usually do. But yeah, as always, let me know your thoughts in the comments. What do you make of this theory? What do you make of what will go down in Cody Rhodes versus John Cena at SummerSlam? How do you think Seth Rollins' cash-in will actually take place? Because this whole theory is very unlikely because of Seth Rollins' injury, by the way. So will he still be going for the WWE Championship, or will they do the obvious attack CM Punk when he wins the World Heavyweight Championship? But yeah, I'd also appreciate if you could leave a like on the video, sub to the channel, and thank you for your time.